Welcome to Cozy Sleep Haven. Tonight's episode invites you to join Ella, Havenport's devoted dreamer and ambassador of all things cozy, as she continues her journey through one of her favorite TV shows, Gilmore Girls. Together, we'll revisit the charming streets of Stars Hollow and explore the heartfelt stories of Season 3, a season filled with growth, turning points, and unforgettable moments. As Rory navigates her path toward college, and Lorelai inches closer to her dream of opening the Dragonfly Inn, the Gilmores face challenges, joys, and everything in between. Join us as we embark on Season 3 of Gilmore Girls, episode by episode, reliving the charm, humor, and heart of this beloved series. And don't forget to subscribe and join our cozy community, where every week we celebrate the simple joys that bring us closer to rest. Here at Cozy Sleep Haven, we cherish the little things that bring comfort, whether it's the glow of twinkling lights, the soothing rhythms of a familiar story, or the soft embrace of a warm blanket. We're here to help you slow down, release the day's worries, and find rest in life's coziest moments. Let's take a moment to ease into relaxation together. Close your eyes if you'd like and take a deep breath in and out. Feel the weight of the day melt away as you inhale peace and exhale any lingering tension. Take another breath, slowly filling your lungs with calm, and release it, letting go of stress. Picture yourself in the heart of Stars Hollow, under a canopy of stars, the crisp night air wrapping you in tranquility. The faint sound of snow brushing against the window panes filled Ella's studio as Havenport settled into another peaceful winter evening. Outside, the streetlights cast a soft glow over the snowy streets, their warm, golden light reflecting off the fresh powder. The scene was serene, the kind of quiet that seemed to stretch time and make the world feel smaller, cozier. Inside, Ella moved around her studio with a deliberate calm, preparing for her evening ritual. She placed a steaming mug of lavender tea on the small table beside her oversized chair, its gentle aroma mingling with the faint scent of cedarwood from a flickering candle on the windowsill. A knitted blanket, one of her own creations, was draped over the armrest, ready to cocoon her in warmth. The studio itself was a reflection of Ella's personality, equal parts functional and whimsical. Shelves lined with paintbrushes and jars of vibrant pigments sat alongside a collection of well-loved books and small handmade trinkets. A vintage record player stood in one corner, though tonight it remained silent. Instead, her laptop rested on the table, already cued to Gilmore Girls Season 3. Poppy, her gray tabby cat, leapt onto the chair, circling twice before curling up in a perfect ball on the blanket. Ella smiled, reaching down to scratch behind Poppy's ears before settling into the chair herself. She pulled the blanket over her lap, the fabric soft and familiar against her skin. She pressed play, and the familiar opening notes of Gilmore Girls filled the room. The screen came to life, showing the familiar streets of Stars Hollow bustling with activity. As the theme song played, Ella let the sound wash over her, a comforting reminder of countless evenings spent in the company of Lorelai, Rory, and the quirky characters of their world. Snowflakes continued to drift past the window, and Ella took a sip of her tea, savoring its warmth. The studio seemed to cocoon her in a pocket of stillness, the outside world fading away as the charm of Stars Hollow drew her in once again. The episode began, and Ella leaned back, letting the cozy familiarity of the show wrap around her like the softest of blankets. The quiet hum of the radiator and the occasional crackle of the candle's wick added to the soothing atmosphere, making the evening feel timeless. Tonight, she would journey through Season 3, a season filled with turning points, laughter, and heart. Episode 1, Those Lazy, Hazy, Crazy Days, recap. Season 3 opens with the energy of summer in Stars Hollow, setting the tone for a season full of change and self-discovery. The episode begins with a dream sequence. Lorelai imagines herself sharing a romantic picnic and kiss with Luke. It's playful and lighthearted, yet it hints at feelings she may not be ready to confront. Meanwhile, Rory returns from her summer trip to Washington, D.C., where she worked alongside Paris in a leadership program. Her excitement to be back in Stars Hollow is dampened by the complicated dynamics awaiting her. Dean, eager to reconnect, finds himself vying for her attention as Rory wrestles with lingering thoughts about Jess. A brief but charged moment between Rory and Jess signals that their story is far from over. Stars Hollow's vibrant personality shines through a summer festival hosted by Taylor, complete with quirky activities and enthusiastic townsfolk. Kirk, of course, delivers comedic relief as he meticulously manages a small but absurd detail of the event. At Friday night dinner, Emily subtly encourages Lorelai to rekindle things with Christopher, but Lorelai dismisses the suggestion with her usual quick wit. Their conversation highlights the ongoing tension between Lorelai's independence and Emily's desire for a picture-perfect family. As the sun sets on the summer festival, the episode closes with both Lorelai and Rory grappling with decisions that could shape their paths. Lorelai's dream lingers in her mind, and Rory's pull toward Jess begins to deepen. It's a reflective start to a season that promises growth and transformation. Episode 2, Haunted Leg, recap. In this episode, the aftermath of Christopher's visit ripples through the Gilmore Girls' lives. Tensions are high as Christopher tries to reestablish a presence in Rory's life. But the drama comes to a head when his fiancée, Sherry, unexpectedly calls Lorelai. Sherry's eagerness to involve Rory in her upcoming baby shower leaves Lorelai visibly uncomfortable, reigniting old wounds about Christopher's absence during Rory's childhood. Emily, meanwhile, seizes the opportunity to stir the pot, questioning Lorelai's choices and subtly implying that Christopher's reappearance is proof of unresolved feelings. Their verbal sparring is as sharp as ever, with Lorelai's humor masking her deeper frustrations. Rory avoids the drama at home by throwing herself into Chilton's demands, but her feelings for Jess continue to grow. Their interactions are brief but electric, adding complexity to her relationship with Dean. Rory's struggle to balance her feelings for both boys becomes more apparent, setting up the love triangle that will dominate much of the season. On the lighter side, the town is buzzing over a new restaurant opening, and Kirk hilariously attempts to secure a job as a waiter, complete with an over-the-top demonstration of his serving skills. His antics provide a much-needed dose of levity amidst the emotional tension. The episode ends with Lorelai standing firm in her boundaries, determined to protect Rory from the upheaval that Christopher's return always seems to bring. As she and Rory sit together on the couch, it's a quiet reminder of the stability they've built together, even when the world around them feels uncertain. Episode 3, Application Anxiety Recap. The college application process begins in earnest for Rory, bringing a mix of excitement and stress. As Rory starts preparing her application for Harvard, the weight of her ambitions begins to take its toll. Lorelai does her best to lighten the mood with her trademark humor, but even she can't completely ease Rory's growing anxiety. A Chilton seminar on the do's and don'ts of applying to Ivy League schools only amplifies Rory's stress. The event, led by an overly intense admissions counselor, paints a daunting picture of the competition Rory is up against. Her classmates' cutthroat attitudes and endless lists of extracurricular achievements leave her feeling out of her depth. Back in Stars Hollow, Lorelai tries to help Rory by organizing her application materials. Their conversations are filled with the usual banter, but there's an undercurrent of tension as both mother and daughter grapple with the enormity of the future. Lorelai's unwavering belief in Rory shines through, reminding her that she's more than capable of achieving her dreams. Meanwhile, Lane embarks on a small rebellion, secretly planning to attend a rock concert with her bandmates. Her story provides a humorous and relatable counterbalance to Rory's academic pressures. The episode ends with a heartfelt moment between Lorelai and Rory. Sitting at the kitchen table surrounded by stacks of college brochures, they reflect on how far they've come and how much they've accomplished together. It's a touching reminder of the partnership that has always defined their relationship. Episode 4, One's Got Class and the Other One Dies. Recap. Lorelai and Luke are invited to give a talk at Chilton about their careers, and while Lorelai is initially excited, the event takes an unexpected turn. The students are far more interested in her personal life than her business expertise, peppering her with questions about having Rory as a teenager. Lorelai handles the situation with humor and grace, but the experience leaves her feeling exposed and frustrated. Luke, on the other hand, struggles to find his footing in the high-pressure environment of Chilton. His straightforward demeanor clashes hilariously with the polished atmosphere of the school, resulting in some laugh-out-loud moments as he attempts to field questions from the students. Meanwhile, Lane takes a bold step toward expressing her individuality by secretly dyeing her hair. The act of rebellion is a small but significant victory for Lane, who has long felt stifled by her strict upbringing. Her mother's discovery of the dyed hair leads to a dramatic confrontation, but Lane's determination to carve out her own identity remains unshaken. Back in Stars Hollow, Kirk embarks on yet another quirky project, this time attempting to start a dog walking business. His interactions with the town's residents are as amusing as ever, adding a lighthearted subplot to the episode. The episode concludes with Lorelai and Rory sharing a quiet moment at home. Lorelai reflects on her experience at Chilton, acknowledging the challenges of being a single parent while expressing her pride in the life they've built. It's a tender ending that underscores the strength of their bond. Episode 5, 8 o'clock at the Oasis. Recap. In this lighthearted episode, Lorelai's penchant for helping others leads her into an unexpected predicament when a quirky neighbor, Dwight, asks her to water his lawn while he's out of town. What seems like a simple favor quickly spirals into chaos when Lorelai discovers that Dwight's sprinkler system has a mind of its own. Her comedic attempts to manage the situation, including an amusing phone call to Dwight, showcase her quick wit and knack for turning even the mundane into an adventure. Meanwhile, Rory continues to navigate her complicated feelings for Jess. Their interactions remain charged with unspoken tension, and while Rory tries to focus on her relationship with Dean, it's clear her mind is often elsewhere. Dean begins to pick up on this shift, adding a subtle layer of strain to their dynamic. The episode's humor is amplified by Stars Hollow's colorful residents. Kirk attempts to pitch yet another one of his outlandish business ideas. This time, a line of scented candles with questionable fragrances. Miss Patty adds her signature flair with a dramatic retelling of a minor event in town, drawing laughter and eye rolls from the townsfolk. The episode ends with Lorelai reflecting on her day over coffee with Rory. Despite the chaos, she finds joy in the unexpected, reminding both herself and Rory to embrace life's quirks. It's a sentiment that echoes through the episode, leaving viewers with a warm and familiar sense of Gilmore charm. Episode 6, Take the Deviled Eggs. Recap. The episode takes a more emotionally charged turn as Lorelai and Rory attend Sherry's baby shower at Christopher's insistence. The event, hosted in Sherry's impeccably curated home, is a stark contrast to the laid-back vibe of Stars Hollow. Lorelai's discomfort is palpable as she navigates the overly polished gathering, complete with pastel decorations and forced small talk. For Rory, the shower offers a chance to observe Sherry's dynamic with Christopher. While Sherry is warm and welcoming, Rory senses the tension in her mother, who can't help but reflect on what might have been if circumstances had been different. Lorelai's dry humor masks her unease, but a quiet moment between her and Christopher reveals the lingering complexity of their relationship. Back in Stars Hollow, Jess continues to stir up trouble, testing Luke's patience and further complicating his interactions with Rory. Dean's frustration with Jess becomes more apparent, setting the stage for the eventual fallout between the three. The town provides its usual dose of levity, with Babette and Miss Patty organizing a Stars Hollow Devil egg cook-off, which naturally devolves into chaos, thanks to Kirk's over-enthusiastic participation. The cook-off becomes a lighthearted counterbalance to the heavier themes of the episode, reminding viewers of the charm and resilience of the Gilmore world. As the day comes to an end, Lorelai and Rory reflect on the baby shower during their drive home. Their bond, as always, remains their anchor, providing comfort and humor in the face of life's unpredictability. The episode closes with the two sharing a laugh over an absurd memory from the day, a reminder of their ability to find joy even in the most awkward situations. Episode 7, They Shoot Gilmores, Don't They? Recap. One of the most iconic episodes of Gilmore Girls, This chapter takes place during Stars Hollow's 24-hour dance marathon, an event packed with drama, humor, and turning points for the characters. Lorelai and Rory enter the contest as a team, determined to win despite Lorelai's questionable footwear choice and Rory's initial reluctance. The marathon is a spectacle of small-town charm, complete with a live band, an overzealous Taylor as MC, and a sleep-deprived Kirk, who hilariously outlasts everyone to claim his victory. The quirky, chaotic atmosphere is quintessential Stars Hollow, providing the perfect backdrop for the episode's emotional stakes. As the marathon progresses, the simmering tension between Rory, Jess, and Dean finally boils over. Jess lingers on the sidelines, his mere presence unsettling Dean, who grows increasingly frustrated with Rory's divided attention. The breaking point comes when Dean publicly ends his relationship with Rory in front of the entire town, leaving her stunned and Jess intrigued. Lorelai, meanwhile, throws herself into the competition with her usual energy, even as she senses Rory's growing distraction. The physical exhaustion of the marathon mirrors the emotional exhaustion of the characters, culminating in a moment of vulnerability between Lorelai and Luke. Their conversation, laced with humor and unspoken affection, hints at the deeper connection they continue to share. The episode ends with Rory wandering through Stars Hollow at dawn, her heart heavy with the weight of the night's events. The town, still decorated for the marathon, feels quiet and contemplative, mirroring Rory's own introspection. It's a poignant conclusion to an episode filled with highs and lows, leaving viewers eager to see what comes next. Episode 8, Let the Games Begin Recap. Richard Gilmore takes the spotlight in this episode, inviting Rory and Lorelai to accompany him on a tour of Yale, his alma mater. His excitement about the prospect of Rory attending Yale is palpable, and while Rory is flattered by his enthusiasm, the sudden shift in focus from Harvard to Yale leaves her feeling conflicted. The tour itself is grand and meticulously planned, complete with a visit to Richard's old stomping grounds and a meeting with influential alumni. Emily's involvement adds another layer of formality to the day, her pride in Richard and Rory evident in her every word. However, the experience also highlights the growing divide between Rory's independent ambitions and her grandparents' expectations. Meanwhile, Lorelai struggles to navigate the day without succumbing to her discomfort. Her witty commentary and subtle deflections mask her unease, particularly during a formal dinner where she feels out of place. Despite her reservations, Lorelai's love for Rory shines through as she supports her daughter's efforts to make sense of her future. Back in Stars Hollow, the town hums with its usual mix of humor and heart. Luke and Jess share a tense but revealing conversation about Jess's growing relationship with Rory, while Kirk attempts to launch a bizarre new business venture involving homemade maps of Stars Hollow. The episode concludes with Rory quietly reflecting on the day's events. Sitting in her room, she flips through a Yale brochure, her expression thoughtful and uncertain. It's a subtle but powerful moment that underscores the complexities of forging one's own path while honoring family expectations. The season's themes of growth and choice continue to build, leaving viewers eager for the next chapter. Episode 9, A Deep-Fried Korean Thanksgiving. Recap. In this holiday-themed episode, Lorelai and Rory face a whirlwind Thanksgiving as they navigate 4 separate dinners in a single day. The result is a mix of comedy, heartfelt moments, and a generous helping of Stars Hollow charm. The first stop is Lane's family dinner, where Mrs. Kim's traditional Korean feast is served with strict etiquette and plenty of side glances at Rory's table manners. Lane sneaks in whispers about her secret band practice, offering Rory a brief reprieve from Mrs. Kim's watchful gaze. Next, the Gilmores head to Sookie and Jackson's, where the atmosphere is lively and chaotic. Sookie's attempt at a perfectly roasted turkey takes a turn when Jackson insists on deep frying one instead, resulting in a hilarious kitchen mishap. The scene captures the warmth and imperfection of family gatherings, with Sookie and Jackson's banter adding a touch of humor. The third dinner is at Luke's diner, where Luke provides a low-key but heartwarming meal. Lorelai's teasing lightens the mood, but there's an underlying tension as Luke subtly inquires about Jess's growing connection with Rory. The exchanges between Luke and Lorelai are filled with their usual mix of banter and quiet affection. Finally, Lorelai and Rory end the day at Emily and Richard's, where the formality of the evening is a stark contrast to the day's earlier festivities. Tensions flare when Emily discovers Rory is considering Yale instead of Harvard, leading to a heated discussion about family expectations and independence. The episode closes with Lorelai and Rory back at home, collapsing onto the couch in exhaustion. Despite the chaos of the day, their bond remains their anchor, and they share a laugh over the absurdity of their Thanksgiving marathon. It's a warm and festive episode that highlights the season's themes of family and resilience. Episode 10, That'll Do, Pig Recap. This episode explores family dynamics and personal growth as Emily throws a lavish party to celebrate Richard's mother, Trix. Trix's sharp tongue and unfiltered opinions bring tension to the gathering, particularly for Emily, who struggles to maintain her composure under Trix's scrutiny. The tension escalates when Trix announces a plan to move her finances to Richard's care, bypassing Emily entirely. The move feels like a pointed slight, and Emily's frustration bubbles beneath her polished exterior. Lorelai steps in to provide humor and support, offering Emily a rare moment of camaraderie as they commiserate over Trix's impossible standards. Meanwhile, Rory and Dean have an awkward reunion at a town event, where Dean introduces her to his new girlfriend, Lindsay. The encounter is uncomfortable for both Rory and Dean, as lingering feelings and unresolved tension make it clear that their story isn't entirely over. Jess, ever observant, notices Rory's unease and offers his own brand of sarcastic support. In the subplot, Kirk adopts a pet pig, hilariously named Petal, and attempts to integrate her into his life. His over-the-top antics provide much-needed levity, from building a custom pig house to parading Petal through town as if she were a prize-winning show animal. The episode concludes with Lorelai reflecting on the challenges of navigating family dynamics. As she and Rory unwind at home, they find solace in their ability to laugh at life's absurdities. It's a reminder that even in the face of conflict, the strength of their bond remains unwavering. Episode 11, I Solemnly Swear, Recap. This episode dives into the complexity of interpersonal relationships and trust. Lorelai finds herself entangled in a legal issue when she's accused of defaming a former client of the Independence Inn. The accusation brings unexpected stress, but Lorelai's sharp wit and determination shine as she defends her integrity. Her dynamic with Suki provides moments of levity as they brainstorm ways to resolve the situation without losing their signature charm. Meanwhile, Rory continues to navigate her increasingly complicated feelings for Jess. A chance meeting at Luke's leads to a quiet but meaningful conversation that underscores their growing connection. Jess's ability to read between Rory's lines hints at the depth of their bond, even as Rory struggles to fully admit her feelings. At Chilton, Paris enlists Rory's help in managing her campaign for student body president. Paris's over-the-top approach to leadership adds a dose of humor, but it also highlights her vulnerabilities as she confides in Rory about her fears of failure. Their evolving friendship provides a touching counterbalance to the episode's heavier themes. The Stars Hollow subplot centers around Taylor's latest scheme, implementing a town-wide oath of civility. The idea predictably spirals into chaos when Kirk takes his role as civility enforcer far too seriously, leading to hilariously awkward confrontations with the townsfolk. The episode ends with Lorelai and Rory sharing a quiet moment on the porch, reflecting on the importance of trust and authenticity in their relationships. It's a thoughtful conclusion that ties together the episode's themes with the warmth and humor fans have come to love. Episode 12, Lorelai Out of Water Recap. This episode blends humor, vulnerability, and unexpected adventure as Lorelai decides to step out of her comfort zone to impress a potential love interest, Alex. When Alex invites her on a fishing trip, Lorelai, who knows nothing about fishing, turns to Luke for a crash course. Their lessons, filled with banter and moments of subtle connection, are both comedic and heartwarming, offering a glimpse into their enduring dynamic. Rory, meanwhile, continues to grow closer to Jess. Their relationship takes a significant step forward when Jess accompanies Rory to a school event, where his unconventional charm and sharp humor make him a hit with her classmates. Dean's absence looms large, underscoring the shift in Rory's romantic life. In Stars Hollow, Lane faces her own challenges as she tries to balance her secret love of music with her mother's strict expectations. A chance encounter with a local band leads Lane to consider taking bigger risks to pursue her passion, setting up her storyline for future episodes. The town subplot features Kirk attempting to create a Stars Hollow survival guide, complete with questionable tips like how to avoid Taylor's lectures and the best spots to hide from overly friendly neighbors. His antics add a lighthearted touch to the episode's more reflective moments. The episode concludes with Lorelai and Alex's fishing trip, which, despite its comedic mishaps, reveals Lorelai's willingness to take chances and try new things. As she returns home, her renewed confidence and adventurous spirit leave her feeling optimistic about what lies ahead. Episode 13, Dear Emily and Richard Recap. This deeply emotional episode takes a step back in time, offering viewers a poignant glimpse into Lorelai's early years. Through a series of flashbacks, we see the events leading up to Rory's birth and the pivotal moments that shaped Lorelai's relationship with her parents. In the flashbacks, a young Lorelai grapples with the shock of her pregnancy and the pressures placed on her by Emily and Richard. Their insistence on maintaining appearances and following a traditional path creates a chasm between them. As Lorelai yearns for independence and the chance to raise Rory on her own terms. The scenes are both heart-wrenching and inspiring, as they reveal the strength and determination that have always defined Lorelai. In the present day, Rory spends time with Emily and Richard, gaining insight into their lives and the sacrifices they've made. A quiet moment with Emily reveals her lingering pain over Lorelai's decision to leave home, adding depth to their often fraught relationship. Rory's empathy and understanding shine through as she bridges the gap between her mother and grandparents. The episode also features a lighter subplot in Stars Hollow, where Luke and Jess attempt to fix the diner's faulty plumbing. Their interactions are filled with the usual mix of frustration and affection, highlighting the complexities of their uncle-nephew dynamic. The episode concludes with Lorelai reflecting on her journey, from the scared teenager she once was to the confident, loving mother she is today, as she and Rory sit together on the couch, sharing stories and laughter. It's a powerful reminder of the bond they've built and the resilience that has carried them through. Episode 14, Swan Song. Recap. In this episode, Rory and Jess face their first major fight, revealing cracks in their budding relationship. The conflict begins when Jess arrives late to a dinner with Emily and Richard, his casual attitude clashing with their formal expectations. Rory's frustration with Jess's lack of consideration grows, leading to a heated argument that leaves both of them questioning their compatibility. Meanwhile, Lorelai navigates her own awkward social situation as she agrees to go on a double date with her new boyfriend Alex and his friends. The evening is filled with uncomfortable small talk and humorous misunderstandings, showcasing Lorelai's ability to find humor in even the most cringe-worthy moments. In Stars Hollow, Luke deals with the fallout of Jess's behavior, balancing his role as a surrogate parent with his own frustrations. A particularly memorable scene features Luke chasing a swan that has mysteriously taken up residence in the town square, much to Taylor's chagrin. The swan becomes a running gag throughout the episode, adding a dose of levity to the emotional stakes. The episode ends with Rory and Jess reconciling after their fight, though it's clear that unresolved issues linger between them. As they sit together in quiet companionship, the scene captures the complexities of young love. Messy, imperfect, but full of possibility. Episode 15, Face Off Recap. This episode centers on Rory and Jess's evolving relationship as they navigate their first public outing as a couple. The story unfolds at a hockey game, where Rory attempts to blend her love of small-town life with Jess's edgier personality. While the event should be lighthearted, it's tinged with tension as Rory crosses paths with Dean, who is there with his new girlfriend, Lindsay. The encounter between Rory and Dean is loaded with unspoken emotions. Dean's polite but distant demeanor contrasts with Jess's nonchalant attitude, and Rory is caught in the middle, unsure of how to navigate the situation. Her discomfort highlights the lingering complexities of her breakup with Dean and the uncertainties in her relationship with Jess. Meanwhile, Lane finds herself at a crossroads as she decides whether to pursue her musical ambitions more openly. Encouraged by her bandmates, Lane considers auditioning for a local showcase, but the fear of her mother's disapproval looms large. Her internal struggle adds a relatable layer to the episode, balancing the romantic drama with a story of personal growth. In Stars Hollow, Kirk takes on the role of town security, complete with a comically oversized flashlight and an official-looking badge. His antics, including trying to enforce non-existent curfews, provide the episode's comedic relief, much to the townsfolk's amusement. The episode concludes with Rory and Jess leaving the hockey game together, their relationship feeling both tentative and hopeful. As they walk through the quiet streets of Stars Hollow, Rory reflects on the changes in her life and the importance of following her heart, even when the path isn't clear. Episode 16, The Big One, Recap. This episode is a pivotal moment for Rory as her college dreams inch closer to reality. The excitement begins when Rory receives a letter from Harvard, inviting her to interview as part of the application process. The news sets off a flurry of activity, with Lorelai diving headfirst into helping Rory prepare. As Rory practices her interview answers, Paris adds her own unique stress to the situation. Paris's insecurities about her own future boil over during a heated conversation, resulting in an emotional moment that reveals the vulnerability behind her perfectionism. The scene is a testament to the deep, albeit complicated, friendship between Rory and Paris. Meanwhile, Lorelai faces her own challenges as she deals with lingering doubts about her professional and personal life. A chance encounter with Max Medina, her former fiancé, stirs up old feelings and forces her to reflect on the choices she's made. Their conversation is both nostalgic and bittersweet, offering closure while leaving the door open for new possibilities. Back in Stars Hollow, Suki and Jackson prepare for the arrival of their first child, with Jackson hilariously over-preparing for every possible scenario. His antics provide a welcome dose of humor, balancing the episode's emotional weight. The episode concludes with Rory and Lorelai sharing a quiet moment in the kitchen, reflecting on the milestones they're approaching. As they toast to the future, the warmth of their bond is palpable, a reminder of the strength they find in each other as they face life's uncertainties. Episode 17, A Tale of Pose and Fire Recap. This episode brings significant change for Lorelai as a fire at the Independence Inn forces her to confront the fragility of her professional life. The fire, though not catastrophic, renders the inn temporarily unusable, leaving Lorelai and Suki scrambling to find alternative accommodations for their guests. The incident is a stark reminder of how much the inn means to Lorelai and the community, sparking reflections on her future and her long-standing dream of opening the Dragonfly Inn. Meanwhile, Rory faces her own challenges at Chilton. A poetry reading assignment leads to unexpected inspiration, but it also brings tension when Paris's competitive nature flares up. The rivalry between the two friends adds a humorous yet poignant layer to the episode, showcasing their ability to challenge and support one another. Back in Stars Hollow, Taylor seizes the opportunity to turn the fire into a town-wide event, hosting a fundraiser to help the Independence Inn recover. His efforts are, as always, over the top and somewhat misguided, but they highlight the community's deep affection for Lorelai and her team. Luke, ever the steady presence, steps in to offer practical help, quietly reaffirming his place as one of Lorelai's most dependable friends. Their interactions are tinged with warmth and a hint of something more, adding to the slow-burning tension between them. The episode closes with Lorelai sitting alone in the inn's empty dining room, reflecting on the memories she's created there. Her determination to rebuild and move forward is palpable, setting the stage for her next big chapter. Episode 18. Happy Birthday Baby Recap. In this heartfelt episode, Lorelai plans a surprise 18th birthday party for Rory, marking a milestone in their unique mother-daughter relationship. The festivities are quintessentially Stars Hollow, complete with quirky decorations, a homemade cake from Suki, and the entire town coming together to celebrate. While Rory appreciates the effort, she's also preoccupied with her future. College acceptance letters are starting to arrive, and the reality of leaving Stars Hollow begins to sink in. A heartfelt conversation between Rory and Lorelai reveals their mixed emotions about the changes ahead, with Lorelai expressing her pride and Rory voicing her fears of the unknown. Emily and Richard make an appearance at the party, adding a layer of formality to the otherwise relaxed celebration. Emily's gift, a pearl necklace, is both thoughtful and symbolic, representing her hopes for Rory's bright future. The gesture, while appreciated, underscores the ongoing tension between Emily's traditional values and Lorelai's more unconventional approach to life. Meanwhile, the town provides its usual dose of humor. Kirk's attempt to serenade Rory with an original and off-key song is hilariously awkward, and Babette's over-enthusiastic party planning nearly derails the evening. These lighthearted moments balance the episode's emotional depth, keeping the tone warm and celebratory. The episode concludes with Lorelai and Rory sharing a quiet moment on the porch, looking out at the stars. Lorelai promises Rory that no matter where life takes them, their bond will remain unshakable. It's a touching end to an episode that celebrates growth, love, and the power of community. Episode 19. Keg Max Recap. This episode brings high drama as a party at Kyle's house spirals into chaos, serving as a pivotal moment for both Rory and Jess. When Lane convinces Rory to attend the party with her band, the night begins with promise but quickly takes a turn. As tensions rise, Rory and Jess find themselves at odds, their miscommunication reaching a boiling point. The party also marks a significant moment for Lane as she steps out of her comfort zone to perform with her band. The exhilaration of the performance is tempered by her fear of her mother finding out, and her complicated relationship with her strict upbringing adds depth to her storyline. Her dynamic with Dave Rogalski continues to evolve, bringing sweetness and hope to an otherwise tumultuous evening. Back in Stars Hollow, Lorelai has an unexpected encounter with Max Medina, reigniting old feelings and unresolved questions about their relationship. The conversation between Lorelai and Max is both nostalgic and bittersweet, highlighting the lingering connection they share despite their differing paths. The party comes to a head when a fight breaks out between Jess and Dean, sparked by their long-standing rivalry over Rory. The altercation leaves Rory shaken and questioning her decisions, while Jess's inability to articulate his emotions only deepens the divide between them. The episode ends with Lorelai comforting Rory at home, reminding her of the importance of self-worth and open communication. It's a reflective moment that underscores the complexity of relationships and the strength of the Gilmore bond. Episode 20, Say Goodnight, Gracie, Recap. This episode deals with the emotional aftermath of the party as the characters confront the consequences of their actions. Rory attempts to make amends with Jess, but their conversation reveals the growing disconnect between them. Jess's frustration with his inability to meet Rory's expectations leads him to pull away further, leaving Rory feeling lost and uncertain. Meanwhile, the town gathers to mourn the passing of Fran Weston, the beloved owner of Weston's Bakery. Fran's funeral brings Stars Hollow together in a touching display of community spirit, with Lorelai and Suki reflecting on her impact and what it means for their dream of opening the Dragonfly Inn. The event serves as a reminder of the passage of time and the importance of cherishing life's moments. Lane faces her own reckoning as Mrs. Kim discovers her secret involvement with the band. Their confrontation is emotional, but ultimately leads to a deeper understanding between them, showcasing the evolving complexity of their relationship. The episode also features lighter moments, including Kirk's hilariously awkward attempt to eulogize Fran and Taylor's over-the-top plans for a town tribute. These scenes balance the episode's heavier themes with humor and warmth. The episode concludes with Lorelai and Suki taking a step closer to their dream, as Fran's passing opens the door for them to purchase the Dragonfly Inn. It's a bittersweet moment, filled with both loss and hope, and it sets the stage for the next chapter in Lorelai's journey. Episode 21, Here Comes the Sun, Recap. This episode takes a detour to focus on Jess's journey as he travels to California to reconnect with his estranged father, Jimmy. Jess's decision to leave Stars Hollow comes after the growing strain in his relationship with Rory and his struggles to find his place in the small town. The sunny and laid-back vibe of California provides a stark contrast to the cozy charm of Stars Hollow, mirroring Jess's feelings of disconnection. In California, Jess meets Jimmy's new partner, Sasha, and her teenage daughter. The family dynamic is unconventional but welcoming, offering Jess a glimpse of a life that feels foreign yet intriguing. Despite the initial awkwardness, Jess and Jimmy share a few meaningful moments, hinting at the possibility of reconciliation. Back in Stars Hollow, the town buzzes with excitement as Taylor organizes an elaborate spring event, complete with a pie-tasting contest and a quirky Stars Hollow mascot parade. Lorelai finds herself reluctantly judging the pies alongside Suki, whose culinary critiques range from overly detailed to hilariously biased. Rory struggles with Jess's absence, unsure of how to process his sudden departure. Her introspection deepens as she reflects on their relationship and what she truly wants for her future. Meanwhile, Luke wrestles with his own frustrations over Jess leaving, his tough love approach masking his underlying concern. The episode ends with Jess standing on a beach in California, staring out at the horizon as the sun sets. It's a moment of quiet reflection and uncertainty, leaving viewers wondering what lies ahead for him. The contrast between Jess's solitary journey and the bustling energy of Stars Hollow underscores the episode's themes of self-discovery and change. Episode 22, Those Are Strings Pinocchio Recap. The Season 3 finale is an emotional and celebratory episode as Rory graduates from Chilton, marking a major milestone in her journey. The episode begins with Rory and Lorelai preparing for the ceremony, their banter laced with nostalgia and excitement for what's to come. Rory's academic achievements shine as she delivers a heartfelt valedictorian speech, thanking her mother for her unwavering support and sacrifices. The graduation ceremony itself is a mix of joy and bittersweet moments. Emily and Richard beam with pride as they watch Rory cross the stage, though Emily can't resist subtly reminding Lorelai of the family's expectations for her future. Lorelai brushes off the comments with her usual humor, focusing instead on the significance of the day. Meanwhile, Lorelai takes a major step toward her dream of opening the Dragonfly Inn. With Fran's passing, Lorelai and Suki finalize plans to purchase the property, their excitement palpable as they envision the inn's future. The scene is a testament to Lorelai's resilience and determination, as she takes another step toward building the life she's always dreamed of. The episode also touches on Rory's growing independence as she prepares for college. Her relationship with Jess remains unresolved, but her focus on her academic future underscores her strength and clarity of purpose. The season concludes with Lorelai and Rory sitting together in their yard under a canopy of stars, reflecting on how far they've come. Their laughter and mutual admiration serve as a poignant reminder of their unique bond, leaving viewers with a sense of hope and anticipation for the adventures awaiting them in Season 4. As the credits for Season 3 roll, Ella leans back in her oversized chair, her tea now lukewarm but still comforting between her hands. Poppy stirs beside her, stretching lazily before settling back into her cozy spot on the throw blanket. The studio is quiet, the warm glow of candles flickering gently on the walls, their light casting soft shadows over Ella's sketches and trinkets. Ella reflects on the journey through Season 3, the triumphs, heartbreaks, and moments of growth that define the lives of Lorelai, Rory, and the people of Stars Hollow. She smiles, thinking about Rory's graduation and the start of a new chapter for both Gilmores. The themes of family, resilience, and the pursuit of dreams linger in her mind, resonating deeply with her own life. Outside, the faint sound of leaves rustling in the breeze creates a peaceful backdrop, grounding Ella in the present moment. She glances at the open laptop on the table, where the thumbnail for Season 4 waits patiently. "Tomorrow," she whispers to herself with a smile, savoring the anticipation of what's to come. Ella sets her mug down and pulls the blanket snugly around her shoulders, letting out a contented sigh. The flickering candlelight and soft hum of the radiator wrap the room in a cocoon of warmth and stillness, a reminder of the power of small comforts. As she closes her eyes, her thoughts drift to Stars Hollow, imagining its autumnal streets and the comforting rhythm of life in the quirky little town. The sound of Rory and Lorelai's laughter seems to echo faintly, a gentle lullaby carrying her closer to rest. May your night be restful, your dreams peaceful, and your heart as light as a golden autumn leaf drifting gently to the ground. Until next time, good night.